Hi, my name is Kiana, and my food heritage presentation is on Guam and how their diet has changed over time due to Spanish colonization. So, I want to start off by sharing some basic information and history on Guam. Guam is currently a U.S. territory in the North Pacific Ocean and is about 1,600 miles east of the Philippines. So, some background information on Guam's Spanish colonization is that it started when Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, landed on Guam in 1521. Spain officially claimed Guam in 1565 and did not conquer it until the late 17th century. Guam was then ceded to the U.S. in 1898 due to the events of the Spanish American War. So, Guam is the most populous and largest of the Mariana Islands. The location of Guam is between the cultures of Southeast Asia and the Pacific Islands, which is significant for the food that they have and their diet. Rice, taro, yams are all very important in their food. It's very prominent. Also, Guam has a tropical climate and trade winds, and this tropical climate, of course, has tropical plants to go with it, such as plumeria, athis, papaya, and other tropical fruit and flowers. Now, I want to give some more info about the culture of the native people of Guam. Native Guamanians are called Chamorros, and they are of Malayo Indonesian descent and have a mixture of Spanish, Filipino, and other European and Asian ancestries. Their population decreased due to the Spanish colonization and was reduced to only 1,000 at the time. But however, the traditions of Chamorros really thrived. Every village had a feast day, which was celebrated with a grand fiesta, and their culture was very evident by the food they ate, which mostly consisted of taros, breadfruit, and rice. So there began to have a shift in culture due to Spanish colonization. Spanish colonization significantly changed their culture and diet as different traditions and foods were brought to Guam. The act of Magellan trading for food to replenish his ships shows how particular foods are being used in Guamanian food today. The Spanish introduced the growing of corn and cassava crops, and this picture in this slide right here is what cassava looks like. And it's very versatile. They use it for desserts. In Guam specifically, they have a cassava cake. And so traditionally, the Chamorros diet consisted of predominantly plant-based diet, though they also did eat fish sometimes. But traditional food consisted of taro, breadfruits, yams, and rice. Taro was an important root crop, and there were actually several varieties of taro growing in Guam. And even the taro leaves and root stems were also carefully cooked and eaten as well. Traditionally, they cooked their food through heated stones buried in a pit, and there were also many other different plants abundant on their island, but many other crops were later introduced to them due to Spanish trade and colonization. So the modern cuisine, the traditional diet of Guamanians began to shift when Spain took over and also due to the events of World War II. Spain brought over many different crops, including ones we can find here, which are eggplants, oranges, limes, coffee, cashews, cacao, etc. Corn was very significant because it included making tamales, chilaquiles, and more, which was all directly influenced from Mesoamerica. Additionally, canned meat, specifically Vienna sausage and Spam, became popular in Guam during World War II as the US introduced them to all these kinds of foods. So, I want to introduce some of the dishes that are popular in Guam. This first dish is called chicken kelaguen. Chicken kelaguen is a spicy chicken dish, which is similar to something in the Philippines, which is called sisig. And also, it's similar to ceviche. It's just chicken instead of fish. This dish was actually introduced by Filipino settlers when the islands were both part of the Spanish East Indies. And this dish is often served with island-style tortillas called tichas, which are made with coconut flour. So another dish that's popular in Guam is escabeche, which you may have heard before, as there are many different variations of this dish from many different countries. But for Guamanians, escabeche is a dish of poached or fried egg or fried fish with eggplant, cabbage, carrots, and green peppers in a vinegar sauce. It is a popular seafood dish inspired by Spanish cuisine. And sometimes they add turmeric and ginger to add a golden color to the dish. And Spain brought this dish to Guam and many other countries as they all have different takes on this one singular dish. And that's all. And these are my references. Thank you.